Well, hey folks, Fat Guy Flies RC. All right, I stuck one in on you. This is a early Christmas present to myself. Horizon Hobby had a big Flash Day sale or something. I forget what it was. And this was like, I paid $179 for it, and it's normally like $249 for the bind and fly. This is the bind and fly. And I figured for 180 bucks a bind and fly, I mean, the receiver in it alone is worth $104. So I went ahead and picked it up, and this is Ferocious Frankie. This is considered your everyday warbird, kind of like their 1.1 meter yellow Trojan. And so this is the same class as that. You take the gear off, hand launch it. But we're going to be doing the gear on it. We're going to take off right off the bat my high rates in my trimming mode. In other words, I got the gyro turned off. I'll make sure she's trimmed because this is the maiden, and then we'll go to AS3X after that. I did not use the setup file that comes with the receiver. I overrode that and I didn't use my own. I set it up fat guy style. Well, I set it by the book, but I with the way I like things done. So, alrighty. Get ourselves a control surface check. Right aileron, left aileron, up elevator, down elevator, right rudder, left rudder. Simple 4-channel control. Timer set for 5 minutes. Gonna fly in my high rates. I'm in trimming mode. I don't have any kind of gyro in there right now. All right, we had to pause for just a moment while Camera Precious fixed her cap. Now, the Smart Avian ESC is supposed to have reverse thrust, but for whatever reason, I couldn't get it to get into the Avian program. So, but you should need a reverse thrust with this one. All right. Timer set for 5 minutes. Let's. I'm also running a 2200 Smart 4S. Okay, like any other warbird, you get that tail up, get on that rudder, drive her straight. Okay, still new plane, still jitters. Okay. Need a little bit of up trim. Kind of windy today, so. But then again, it's always windy here on Fat Guy Flies RC. A little bit, well, really doesn't need it. Just a little bit of up trim is all she needed. Okay. All right, I think she's trimmed. Let me make one more pass here. Really, hardly any elevator, just a little bit of elevator input, just a tiny bit to maintain inverted. All right.
Time remaining 4 minutes.
I'll check stall here. Power off. Okay, she just goes forward. Got her now? All right, power off, up elevator, up elevator, up elevator, up elevator, up elevator, up elevator. All right, she slumps forward. Let me get a little closer in to do that again. Good flying, little warbird, that's for sure. I still don't have the AS3X turned on. Okay, we're gonna fly. Up elevator, up elevator, up elevator, up elevator. Power off, power off, power off, power off. And she just slumps forward. All right.
AS3X.
Turn our AS3X on now. All right, AS3X is on. She'll snap roll, no problem. I'll do that again.
Time remaining 3 minutes.
Yeah. And this is a maiden flight, folks. Maiden flight. Good flying, little bird. Wasn't crazy about it, so. Yeah, definitely your everyday type warbird that can fly, definitely. I can definitely see this in an everyday type plane. I can definitely see why it's built that way. All right. She's small and bouncy. All right, let's practice that takeoff again. Tell you what we'll do is I feel confident enough with it. Let's do a safe demonstration with her. All right, I'm going to turn to safe.
Safe mode.
Safe mode, we'll take off and land in safe. Now I will not be doing grass hops, not with this light little bee plane with them wheel pants. All right, safe mode. Yeah. Yeah, I know safe's good for a beginner, but oh, I don't like flying with it.
Time remaining 2 minutes.
Get her turned around here. Trying my best to turn that bird. All right, out of the throttle now. About maybe 8 throttle. Completely out of the throttle now. Small amount of throttle, small amount of throttle. Yeah, I don't like safe. All right,
AS3X mode.
but she's back in one piece. Let's turn around. Turn against that wind. All right. Like I said, this is still the maiden flight. AS3X is on. Staying on my rudder. There, proof that safe is not on. Very simple little 4-channel plane. If you're looking for your first warbird, definitely a good choice. Yeah, I can do better than that. Gotta drive them, gotta drive it home.
1 minute.
All right. Bouncy, bouncy, bouncy. But stiff, hard wheels. But you know, that's my fault. I should be able to get that landing down a little bit better. Let's do one more takeoff. Try to get a little bit better on the landing. Staying on that rudder.
Seconds.
We got doves on the field. See the doves? All right, guys, come on. We can't have birds on the runway. Had a little bit better of a landing. Light little plane.
Motor off and ready to pick up.
All right, we had 21 seconds left on a 5-minute timer. My telemetry warning didn't go off on the battery. Let me see what the telemetry says for battery life. Still got 50% left according to this, and I have found that the telemetry is often quite conservative. So, because of that, motor's off. Let's go ahead and hand launch it. Still got 50% left on the battery. 21 seconds. You can probably set your timer for 7.5 minutes. And I'm going to show you how easy taking the gear is. How easy it is to take off. Slide it forward. Slide this forward just like that. Get it to pull out, hopefully. Okay, and then the tail wheel just pulls out. That's all you gotta do. You now have a hand launch. So let's do that. I've never hand launched this plane. Now to me, you know, the launch assist is nice and everything, but if you put it in safe mode, that's pretty much the same thing. All right, for launch assist for this, or not launch assist, but I'm gonna grab it right behind here. I'm gonna put it in safe. Put my motor on and launch it to the wind.
AS3X mode. 10. Timer expired.
All right. Yeah, that definitely wakes it up. Yeah, that might be the way to go with this plane. Out of the power now. Gliding by. Motor just free turning. Back into power. Outside sticks, inside sticks.
ESC.
Yeah.
All right, first got my telemetry warning now. Bring her in for a landing. Well, I'm coming in kind of hot. Let's turn around here. Out of the power, just gliding. Gliding. A little bit of flare right before I touch. There you go.
Motor off and ready to pick up.
Zero damage to the bottom of the plane because you've got hard plastic all through here. Hard plastic here, okay? And that's the weight is going to be here, so you really don't have to worry about the ailerons. They're going to stay up off the ground. And yeah, so hard plastic. Real quick. And just this quick, put our gear back in. Pops into gear. Pops into place, that is. Slide that in. There you go. They're both in. Take your tail wheel, and it just smashes right in there. You now have it back on its gear. Okay, let's go over our rates real quick. Now that the land is a little, that the gear's not bent, that's just how, there's a dip right there. I don't think the gear is bent. Well, no, the gear is a little bit bent. Oh, that's easy enough to fix. All right, go over our rates. We were 52 seconds over on a 5-minute timer. We'll go over our flying rates real quick that I flew in. My high rates were 100% throws, 40% expo, all the way around with 50% expo on the rudder. No, 40. Okay, so 100% throws, 40% expo on everything. All right. AS3X settings. Go back to it. Sun's on the screen, so I can't see. Gains are at one-time gains. Those gains are On roll, pitch, and yaw, 40, 50, and 60. Priority, all at 140. It's the default AS3X Plus gains. Didn't do anything with heading, stop lock, all at 35. Nothing with release rates. Nothing with release rate, and gains are at one-time gains. So standard, just the normal standard gains. All right. And like I said, my flight settings were all 100% throws, 40% expo. That's the only way I flew it. Didn't explore the mid rates or low rates. Top loader. Yes, I know that's what telemetry says. Let me just see what telemetry says, just for giggles. According to it, I got 30% left on the battery, according to telemetry. Let's see what the old-fashioned checker that I trust more says. Not too far off, 44%. So just remember, your smart telemetry normally is a little more on the conservative side, and that's fine. Brings you back with a little more battery left. But that is the maiden flight on the all new, well, it's not new, I guess it's been about a year now. The E-FLITE P-51D Ferocious Frankie in the two-bladed version, and it's two-bladed because of being a hand launch. If you launched it with a 3-blade or a 4-blade, you get a much better chance of breaking a blade. This just knocks the blade out of the way, and that way you won't have any problem with it. Gear, if you don't land right, the gear will bend a little bit. No big deal, just bend it back. And you saw how easy it is to take it to a hand launch. Just, if you don't want to mess with that safe launch or a hand launch thing, just put it in safe and take off, and then flip back to AS3X or whatever mode you want to fly in, if you get the buy and fly. Well, there you go, folks. Thank you for watching. God bless y'all. Precious, thank you for filming. And that was the maiden flight with a safe demo, hand launch demo, and all the mode demos on the Ferocious Frankie P-51D, your everyday warbird from Horizon Hobby. God bless y'all. God is good, and we'll see you in the air. Bye-bye.